I wanted to make a quick video to take you through some of the new features in SimTheory and just some of the improvements we've made based on all of your feedback. This is a fairly sizable update, and there's a lot going on under the hood. So, the first thing I want to tell you about is that we've rewritten the renderer. That's what outputs all of the chat information like code and documents and equations and all that kind of stuff. We've rewritten it from scratch, so it's entirely new. We think it'll be a lot faster and it's going to render information a lot better. So, we've also, as part of that, added LaTeX support, which means that it can now output things like equations. So, let me show you how that works. So, if I say explain the equations that describe general relativity, you'll see that now we can actually get the equations rendered correctly. The other thing you'll notice is that we no longer scroll to the bottom as the text streams in, and it'll actually scroll and then it'll stop so that you can see what you've asked and then the response, and it'll take up the full screen before it stops. Now, that is really handy because it's not jumping around, so it stops you having to like scroll up all the time, which is a great addition. But if you do still like the behavior where it just follows the scroll down, you can click this new down arrow and it'll reattach the scroll view to the bottom of the screen. And then it'll just keep scrolling as the message is outputting. You can also just use the regular scroll and it will latch to the bottom when you get to the bottom. And as you pull back up, it'll move away. The next thing I want to show you is we've added a stop button. Now, you've always been able to interrupt or just say stop to a SimTheory agent and it'll respond and stop what it's doing. But sometimes people don't like that because it'll end up outputting a lot more than just, okay, I'll stop. And they just want to be able to click stop. So the way we've solved this problem is you can still interrupt it. You can still type a new message as it's streaming in. But if you just want it to basically shut up, you can click this new stop button. So if I say, write a story about this theory, just to get some long output going, you'll see it now spins. And if I hover, I get the stop button and I can just click stop. Now, of course, if you just want to get this out of the context window as well, you can hover on it and just remove it from the chat session altogether. And it'll put back the original prompt into the text box below so you can edit it and make any changes that you need to. So the next thing I want to show you is these buttons that we've added on the right side here, the up and down arrows. So let's ask it to help us visualize the theory with a demonstration in HTML and CSS, and that'll just get some output going here for us. So you can see it'll stream down and then it'll stop once it gets to the top of the user message. And you can tell that it's still going because you've got this spinner here below. Now, what's cool is once I've got a bunch of messages like this, I can scroll back up to the top of the last message. I can click it to scroll to the next message. And then if I click it again and there's no more messages, it'll scroll to the bottom. There's also a handy keyboard shortcut for this. So you can use Option on a Mac, up and down, or Alt on a PC and up and down, and it'll help you nicely scroll through the chat session. Okay, so now let's look at some updates we've made to the session history screen. So I'll go up and select history from the newly designed menu, and you'll see that the session history now is in a table view. And this table gives you a lot of customization options, including the ability to now choose how sessions are sorted throughout the system. So you can see right now we're sorting by created. But if you wanted to sort by last interaction with that session, you can click on the table column header and it'll change the sort order. What's great is that sort order is remembered, so you don't have to keep doing it every time you load up sessions. If you jump over to your mobile and you use the web app on there, the sort order will be remembered, which is great. You can also now rearrange the columns as well just by dragging and dropping them. So if you want to change the order, you can. And of course, just clicking on that header changes the sort order as well. You can also adjust the size of the columns. So you can just drag if you want a bit more space or, however you'd like to customize the table. The table for session starts off in a filter we call inbox, and inbox is everything that hasn't been sorted into a folder. If you want to see literally all the sessions that you've ever had, you can click into all sessions and that'll show literally everything. The idea behind Inbox is to give you a place to triage sessions as they come in. Now, we're going to add an AI sort for those people that would like us to automatically sort into folders for you. So it'll automatically do this based on the content of the session, but that isn't available just yet. So one of the highly requested features was search. So let's search for Python just to demonstrate that search. Now the search will search within the filter that you're currently in. So if you don't get the results you want from the inbox after you've started organizing the sessions, you need to click into all sessions and that'll search literally everything there is. And you'll see that the search is maintained as we click around between inbox, pinned, and all sessions. So let's clear our search now. And I'll show you a few other things we've added into the option menu here. So you can pin, you can add to folder, you can rename, you can delete. Pin is a little bit different to adding to folders. So if I pin this physics explained, you'll notice it doesn't leave our inbox. So the only things that will leave our inbox are things that we put into folders. So let's add a folder. We click this plus icon here for our first folder, and we'll call this folder projects. Let's add another folder. We'll call this folder code. And if I want to get really organized, I'll add another folder called Python. So now it would be great if we could have subfolders. So to do that, you literally drag the code folder here and put that under the projects folder, and we can slide that down to see it. And then we might want to put the Python folder into the code folder. So you can see that there's really no limitations in terms of the hierarchy of these folders. So you can get really organized. So now let's search for all of these sessions with the word Python, and that'll bring up all those results here. And now I'm going to show you a mass operation. So we'll click manage and we're going to use this select all toggle. You'll see there's 29 selected. We'll click add to folder and we'll add them into our Python folder here. And you'll see, because we've gotten rid of all of the Python sessions and we're still in that Python search, the query is now empty. So we'll clear that out and we'll go back to our inbox. And then you can click into the Python folder here and you can see that it is exclusively all of our Python projects in here. So we've also updated the agent screen and you'll see that it has this nice grid view. This grid view will be improved over time to have a little bit more information in it. But for now, it's just a really good way of seeing which agents are available. Now, in another update that'll be coming soon, you'll be able to click into the agent and see sessions with that agent and be able to make edits and update a bunch of features pretty easily. But for now, when you click on one of these agents, it'll just create a new session with that agent, which is a pretty handy feature. And I know something people have wanted for a while. So you can pick your preference between grid and the table view as well with agents. So it just depends what you like. And that preference will be saved as well. So if you are on the table view and you reload the app later on in the day, it'll remember which view that you prefer. You've got search as well for agents. You've also got all the same options we looked at before. So you can change the sort order. You can choose to see them by created or last used or whatever it might be. The biggest difference with this view is any agents that you favorite will now appear at the top of the selector. So when you're switching agents, they'll be ordered based on your favorites first and then everything else. You can still edit the agents in here, duplicate them, add favorites, unfavorite, delete them, and all that kind of stuff. There is a share option. It doesn't work just yet. It says it's coming soon, and it will be coming soon. So we're going to add agent sharing in an update that will soon follow. The final update I'll show you, which is a pretty minor one but important, is if you now click on your profile icon in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, that's where all these menu items are now hidden. So that's just a quick tour of all the new features in Simtheory. We hope you notice the speed improvements throughout the system. The renderer is improved significantly, so I hope you notice. I'm sure there'll be some rough edges, but we'll sort them out quickly. So if you do run into anything that you're unsure of, just click this icon and click Get Help, and we'll look into it for you. We have a lot more updates coming soon, including the ability to assign a voice to your agent and chat to your agent with voice, which we're really excited about, and also a vastly improved agent building experience. So there's lots more to come. We're working really hard on these updates, and I hope you notice that we're listening to all of your feedback. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this unusually long update video for some changes to tables and things like that. But I think these are features that people will really appreciate and have wanted for some time. So enjoy and keep the feedback coming. If you're not on our Discord, please consider joining it. I'll leave a link in the description below. Thanks again.